March 2021 trade reviews. This is a chart of XETUSD, Ethereum against the US dollar. Here I had a sell signal, meaning that I make a profit if the market goes down. So the green line here shows the entry level. The red line here represents the stop loss level. This is how I manage risk, meaning if price goes to this level, then I exit the trade with a loss. This is how I manage the trade. The same chart, price was going sideways until eventually on Friday evening, had a little breakdown, and then I moved risk to break even. So previously the stop loss was at the high here, but because I moved the stop loss down to this level, it means if price reaches my entry price, I'll be out of the trade with neither a profit or a loss. So that's called break even. That's a way to manage risk. I'll now show how the trade ended. So as you can see, with this arrow here indicates the candlestick that stopped me out of the trade. So when that candlestick reached my stop loss level, means I was kicked out of the trade in either a profit or a loss minus commission. But that worked out well because originally this was my previous stop loss, and if I did keep my stop loss here, I would have ended up losing 3%. But because of proper risk management, I was able to exit the trade at break even. That's proper risk management, because as you can see, price had a big gap over the weekend and opened up higher, meaning I would have ended up losing. March 23rd trade review. This is a chart of XBTUSD, Bitcoin against the US dollar. This is for a buy trade, meaning that I make a profit if the market goes up. The green line here represents my entry level. The red line here represents my stop loss level, meaning if price continues to go down and reaches this red level here, then I exit the trade with a loss of 1% on this trade here. If the trade continues to go up, then I can make more profit. This is now an update on how I manage that trade, as well as an additional trade. Hopefully it doesn't get too confusing. So number one represents the first trade that I took, which was on this candlestick here. Previously, the stop loss was at the low, but because of my trading strategy, I moved risk to break even. So we've got one position here, which is 1%. The second position, which is entered here on this second green line up here, which is number 2 on this candlestick. This is the entry level. This is the stop loss level. So now on the second trade, this is my level of risk. Whereas on my first trade, this was my level of risk. But the first trade is now at break even, so there's no risk on the first trade. The second trade is now risking from this green line here to the red line, which is 3%. Another trade update. The trade that was entered on this candlestick here, number 1, is no longer here because of this candlestick, which touched my entry level, which was my stop loss level. So I ended up exiting this trade at break even. I'll just delete it now. So now we still have one trade in the trade, one trade going on, sorry. This is how the trade played out. Same chart of XBTUSD, Bitcoin against the US dollar. I moved my stop loss to the entry price, which was at this level here. And on this candlestick, this is the candlestick that reached my stop loss and kicked me out of the trade. So I ended up leaving the trade with 0 profit, but also 0 loss. If I had my stop loss at the same initial place, which is here, then I would have exited the trade with a full loss. So this is a perfect example of correct risk management and how to use it properly. March 29th trade review. This is a chart of XBTUSD, Bitcoin against the US dollar. Here you can see that I've entered a buy opportunity. So the green line here represents my entry level. The red line here represents my stop loss level. I make a profit in this trade if the market goes up. If the market goes down to this level, then I end up losing, but I've capped losses at 3% on this trade. Here's an update on the trade. Same chart, XBTUSD, Bitcoin against the US dollar. Here you can see the trade ended up going up in my favor with this long bullish candle. Previously, my stop loss was at this level. I then moved my stop loss to this price here to lock in profit. So I locked in 1-to-1 risk reward ratio and giving the trade some room to breathe. Here's another update on that trade. Same chart, XBTUSD. As you can see, price rallied higher. So previously the stop loss was at this level. Price nearly reached my stop loss, but again, because I left the trade enough room to breathe, I was able to capture another move up, and then I moved my stop loss from this level here to this level here. So I've locked in 2-to-1. This is how the trade played out. Same chart, XBTUSD, Bitcoin against the US dollar. Eventually, price rallied slightly on this candlestick here, but then hit my stop loss and I was out of the trade. So I ended up leaving the trade with 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. For the month of March, I had 4 trades overall. 3 of those trades were at break even, thanks to proper risk management. If I didn't follow my strategy, I would have had 3 full losses, and would have been difficult times. But because I did stick to the strategy and use proper risk management, those potentially losing trades were at break even, so I didn't take any losses. Then finally, I stuck to the same strategy, waited until the 29th of March. I was able to get a profitable trade, get 2-to-1 risk reward, and ended up having a profitable month for March. You can also check my verified track record in the links in the description.